Okay, excellent. Hello, everybody. I think we're live, so let me make my introductions. Welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy, and today we're going to be discussing a topic which is relevant to everybody if you're on Verbling, because the topic is online classrooms. So we've got an interesting article to read, but we're also going to talk about what we think about online classrooms, how they've helped us, what may be the disadvantages, what we think of them basically, and what we think they may be capable of in the future. How do we see things progressing from here? So if you've booked a slot in the class, do come along in now. If you would like to join us, and the class is full, I think, so you're very welcome to watch along on YouTube or Google Plus and join in as we kind of have this discussion this morning. So as the students are getting here, let me just remind you that there are a couple of pages that you might be able to check out in a few minutes that you have spare today, and they could be useful to you. So the first one is my Verbling Teacher Facebook page. And if you're into Facebook or you go regularly onto Facebook, it might be worthwhile just liking a few of the Verbling teachers so you can keep an eye on what's happening. The other place to go, if you want to find out more information about any of the teachers or about how Verbling works really, the best place to go is to a Verbling teacher page where you can watch videos from that teacher. You can check out their schedule for both classes and private tutoring sessions. You can book a slot with them. You can book a position in a class with them, and you can also write to us. So if you have any questions about anything that's not really answered for you and you can't seem to find the answer to it anywhere, or you have a question to ask a particular teacher, then just use the messaging feature that you'll find on the Verbling teacher pages. So with that behind us, let's see who we've got this morning, and it could be evening for you guys, to talk about this interesting topic today. So I'm going to start with Elena. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, have I met you before, Elena?
I don't think so. No, it's my first time
Well,
here.
wonderful. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Nice to meet you too. I'm from Russia,
You're from Russia. All right. Which part of Russia?
St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg. Well, that's a part of Russia that I know. I haven't actually been there, but at least I recognize the name. So, Elena, tell me something about yourself.
Well, I'm from Russia. I like dancing.
Okay, you like dancing. Awesome. And what kind of dancing?
I dance a dance that is called West Coast Swing. It's American
Okay.
summer dance.
Yep. Do you go to classes?
Yeah, I go to classes. I travel around the world to learn more of it.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're quite keen on it.
Well, I try to do my best.
All right, awesome. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Elena. Welcome, Elena the dancer.
Thank you.
Our topic today, guys, is online classrooms. And if you do want to have a quick look at the article before we get started, or have a think about some of the issues that we might be discussing today, have a think about that while I'm saying hi to the other students. Ali, how are you today?
Hi Amy, I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Did you have a good weekend working?
Yeah, on Saturday I worked, and on Sunday a kind of relaxed day for me.
All right, you had a relaxing day on Sunday. That's good news.
Yeah,
Well, it's good to see you back. Ali, what do you think about this topic of online classrooms? How long have you been a student with Verbling?
I have been studying in Werbling. I think if it's 15 months about.
All right, so quite a long time. How did you
Yeah,
find it? How did you find out about Verbling?
it's good and very useful. You can join whenever you want. You don't have time limit. You can arrange the classroom with your work or your
Mhm.
schedule,
Mhm.
and you can join any class whenever you are. It doesn't problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There are lots of advantages.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
Actually,
it's
what I
good.
asked you, Ali, was not how do you find it, but how did you find out about it? So how did you discover Verbling when you first found it? How did you find out what it was and where it was? Did you do an internet search, or did you have a friend who used it, or?
Uh, I don't know. I was just searching on internet, online speaking in English or learning in
Oh,
English,
okay, awesome.
and then I came across to Wordling. I just tried, and I continue.
Hey presto, it worked really well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ali. Well, good to see you, and welcome to the class.
Thank you. Good to see you as well.
Thank you. Diana, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Diana?
Pretty good.
Great. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Pardon, can you repeat?
Have I met you before?
No, this is my first time with you.
Wonderful. Well, in that case, you can tell me a little bit about yourself as well. Are you a dancer?
No. No, but
Okay.
I can dance. No, as Shakira, obviously. But I think I'm a good dancer.
Okay.
Well, at the moment, I am a student of MBA program here in Colombia. I'm from Colombia, obviously. Well, no more than that.
All right. Wonderful. And what are your plans after you finish your MBA?
Well, I would like to find a job, but also I would like to create my own company. So I will decide soon what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on having your own company, or in the future you will. And welcome to the class.
Thank you.
All right, next is Emilio. Hello, Emilio.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. How is everything going?
Pretty good. I'm fine, thank you.
Did you have a good weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
No, it was a calm weekend. I was doing some shopping with my wife, and Saturday in the morning I went with one of my daughters to a volleyball match where she participated.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, she lost the game, but okay, it was a nice time together.
Oh, that's great. Kind of a family weekend, it sounds like.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Emilio. Tell me how long you've been studying with Verbling.
Okay, I think that I started with Verbling 3 weeks ago, as far as I can remember. Yes, this is probably my third week.
All right, so quite a short time compared to Ali. And how did you find out about Verbling?
Okay, in fact, I was looking for something similar in the internet. I was surfing the internet, and Verbling appeared among the top 5 in the search. So I went deep to know a bit more about the system, and it was what I was looking for. So I decided to test during 1 week, and later I joined the system. For me, it's perfect.
So it met your needs, Emilio.
Yes, that's right.
Do you mind me asking what your needs were?
Okay, I was looking for a system, a real flexible system. I mean, I didn't want to move from my home or my business place to an academy, because then I have to invest at least 1 hour go and 1 hour back. So for me, it was perfect. I can experience with different accents as we join people from different nationalities. And at the end, I can join when to attend one class, either in the morning, by night. For me, it's perfect because I was looking for flexibility as the most desired need.
All right, awesome. So I think there are several advantages. You've covered a few of them just there, Emilio, but flexibility is certainly one of them with online learning, as opposed to having to go to an actual classroom somewhere. You're right, it saves travel time, and usually you can log in and do it whenever you want. So thank you for sharing that with us, Emilio.
Sorry, the last sentence I lost.
I just said thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay, sorry, you're welcome.
All right, Luis, hello.
Hello, teacher.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. And how has your weekend been, Luis?
It was great. I study a lot. I like study.
You like studying. Wow, that's excellent. You must make lots of progress.
Yes, I'm learning play music, play a keyboard as well.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of music do you play on the keyboard, Luis?
I didn't know about waltz,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm enchanted
You're enchanted?
by waltz. Waltz.
What a great phrase. I'm enchanted by waltz. Luis, you're going to have to connect up with Elena and Diana and have a party. They can dance, you can play, it'll be great.
Nice. But I have to learn first.
Yes, you have to learn first. Okay, fair enough. Give you a couple of weeks to, learn a few good songs.
Okay.
All right, Luis. So I'm going to ask you the same question. How long have you been studying with Verbling?
I think must be 1 or 2 months.
Okay. And how did you find it, and why do you find it handy or useful? Why did you choose Verbling over a local class or a private teacher in your city or another online platform? Are you there, Louise? No. All right, well, I will come back to you and hopefully hear the answer to your question. All right, no worries. You're back? No?
I think, yes, I think I am back now.
All right, yeah, your connection.
I have been studying over internet for 2 or 3 years. I never have been in presential class. I think I used to work because I work doing websites, so I used to learn things internet. So English is like natural because I have to read a lot of texts in English, and now I'm excited because I'm going to start to study language, and this is going to be like meeting my needs or being fulfilled, no?
Yep, meeting your needs, yeah.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Louise, and welcome.
Thank you,
okay,
teacher.
Marco, hello. Are you there, Marco? Maybe not. All right, have a see if you can play around with your settings. And I'm going to move on and say hey to Matthew.
Hey, how are you?
How are you, Matthew? Good to see you again, or hear you again.
I'm doing great, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How was your weekend?
Well, not too much activity. I worked my weekend, and what did I do else? I went to the gym. I met some 2 friends. Nothing special, nothing exciting.
Nothing too exciting, but quite a nice weekend by the sounds of
What
things.
about you? What about you? Tell us.
What did I do at the weekend?
The most exciting thing.
Oh, I had a really boring weekend. I had to go to the dentist. Woohoo!
Oh.
I work on Saturdays. Woohoo! And what else did I do? Actually, I did go out for lunch on Sunday. That was nice. So there you go. That was my most exciting thing.
Can I ask how much did you pay for your dentist?
Oh, you don't want to know, Matthew. It's been a nightmare, my dentist.
No, how much? I'm not
how
asking, but how much?
Well, what do you want to know? Because it's a long story. On Saturday when I went, I had an X-ray and it was $90.
$90 an X-ray for all the mouth, or only for one tooth?
For my entire mouth.
Okay, but that was like a 3D X-ray or 2D. Okay, you are not familiar, I guess.
I don't know. It was a picture, so I'm guessing 2D.
Okay, just a picture.
Yeah, it was just a picture. It wasn't a hologram.
Okay, thanks for sharing. That's quite expensive, $90, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the price of dentistry is in your guys' countries, but I'm in New Zealand at the moment, and it's expensive. In fact, some people go on dentist holidays, which is where you go to another country to have your dentist work done, and you have a holiday, because that entire price, going on a holiday and having your dentist done in another country, is cheaper than just staying here and having your dentistry done.
Yeah, I've heard that in the United States, some people that immigrated there, from other countries, they go on this kind of holiday in their homelands and they repair their teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
So there you go. It is weird. I think it's weird too, but it is weirdly cheaper. So anyway, Matthew, let's not talk about the dentist. Not a great topic.
Thanks for sharing. That's
okay. What do you think about online classrooms? When I say that to you, Matthew, what do you think of?
Well, okay, I think it depends on the people who are teaching in those online classrooms. Because, for example, what you hear now is made mostly on verbling.com. So, what I mean, my English is I learned this type. What I speak now on Verbling here. So before Verbling, I couldn't speak properly, or I couldn't speak at all, I would say. So, but now I can express myself. I work in an English-speaking company, so I can type proper grammar. What I mean, I make some mistakes, of course, but that's not essential in my job. So I think they're very powerful, a very powerful tool. But depends on the teachers, of course, because sometimes you can have not so good teachers, but sometimes good teachers.
All right, so it depends on the quality of teachers.
Yep.
And when you say teachers, I'm guessing you're kind of thinking of Verbling, right? Where we have actual live teachers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because we're going to talk about the whole sort of realm of online learning today. And so there are other areas that we'll come across later. But thank you, Matthew. That was very insightful.
Yeah. What was that? Very what? Insightful?
Insightful.
Yeah, what's that? Very deep?
I'm trying to type it in the chat box. I don't know. The Verbling chat box doesn't seem to be working. So there it is in the Google chat box.
Yeah, I see them. Quality of teachers.
Does anyone else know what insightful means?
Very deeply, no?
Yeah, something like that. It's given me a window into your experience, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I never had this kind of insightful. Okay. I heard thank you for the insights or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing, but it's just a different form of the word, basically.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. All right, Paul, how are you?
Okay, I'm fine as always. Hello to you and all the students in the class. Nice to see you again. Okay, so what do I have? I worked on the last weekend and slept off in the mornings, so it's pretty good. Yes, I've been on Verbling for about weeks and it's been great. I had a lot of practice, which I didn't have before that.
Yeah.
And I discovered it on YouTube actually when I watched a video by Gabby Wallace, who is online entrepreneur in the teaching English world, with one of the founders of this system. And I thought it was great, and I checked it out, and I was rewarded with lots of practice with English. It's definitely better than talking to a wall or to a mirror. I practiced that a bit, but it was embarrassing. So I recommend people use this system than talking to a wall. It's more rewarding, actually. And what about online classrooms? It's a very extremely useful thing because, as we all understand, the pace of our lives speeds up constantly, and it's just extremely necessary to learn a lot in a short period of time in order to become a highly functioning professional and not to be 50 years old at the time. So this thing will progress further and further, definitely.
All right, awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
You had all of that ready to go. And that was very interesting. All right, I'm just gaining all of your kind of first impressions really about the topic before we get stuck in. So I'll say hello to Simone as well. Hi, Simone.
Hi, hello. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am nice, thank you.
You're nice. If you say that you're nice, Simone, you're talking about your personality, which I completely agree with.
I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm not too bad today.
All right, that's great. So we've had a few people sort of talking about Verbling and how they came to study here and what the advantages are. How long have you been studying with Verbling?
2 months now.
2 months, okay. I wanted to ask you, Simone, about the disadvantages. Are there any disadvantages that for you are, with your experience on Verbling that you've come across?
Yes, maybe one. For example, there are British and American teachers, and sometimes, for example, when I am an American teacher class and I say la 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 Ida, they correct me. It's not Ida, it's either, and something like that, because there are much more American teachers than British teachers. So, but actually I've got a background in England, so sometimes I just speak like that and people correct me and I feel a little bit annoyed because they could only say, okay, this is British English, is not incorrect, but I am an American teacher. I want you to know that this word is pronounced like that. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think pronunciation should be correct like that. When I am saying a word, for example, a word in British way, the teacher corrects me and says it's not a word, it's a word. Please say word. Just let me know. Okay, this is not American. Yes, I know. Okay, so don't try to mix the accents. Try to stick with one. Maybe it should be better.
All right, that's very interesting. Thank you, Simone. I think often, perhaps when you are learning to be an English teacher or training, this is not something that really comes up much. I doubt that many of the teachers have got a lot of training or experience with those really little accent differences. So I guess, yeah, it's good that you were able to recognize the difference, Simone, and I think you just need to go, okay, and I'll ignore that. And yeah, that's what you can do, because I think maybe teachers focus on their own accent, obviously, because it's the one that they know, and maybe are unaware of slight differences between different things in the UK and the US. I don't know. It's a very interesting point.
That's the point, Amy. That's the point. British guys, teachers, you know the difference because maybe you are exposed to American English more then they are exposed to British English. So sometimes they don't know.
Yeah, for sure. That makes perfect sense, Simone. Well, thank you for bringing that up. I'm just going to go to the two lovely dancers now to ask them their opinion on verbling. So, Elena, Simone's brought up one disadvantage, which is to do with accents. Is there anything that you have found to be a disadvantage?
It's not really a disadvantage for me, but kind of comparison with live classes and difference between live classes and
live
classes. Thank you, and online classes is I think after class communication, because when you go out to the school and you meet people and you can talk to them during breaks or after the class, and I think that's the time when you practice your speaking the most.
Yeah.
And in online class, everyone has some time to speak, to express their opinions.
Yeah.
But in comparison to like real life situations and real life speaking, it's much less time. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So probably this is it.
Okay. And how important do you feel that is, just personally? How important do you feel that, like, being able to discuss things with students after class, is that really important to you or not as important as other things?
I think it is important because it helps us to use vocabulary and other knowledge that we receive during the class. But I have other places where I can practice my speaking with people who are learning English too. So that is why for me verbling is perfect. So I can learn something here and then I can go there and practice.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Elena. So that's great. And I'm going to ask Diana the same question. If you can try and think of any disadvantages that compared with a real life class, perhaps.
I don't know, maybe that the time is very limited for 1 hour.
Yeah.
When you have another class, when the teacher is in front of you, normally you can use more time just to practice. Maybe in some cases the topic is very good, but the time is very limited. It's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, it's interesting hearing some feedback from you guys because it's not something that we often talk about. And I'm well aware of the advantages, I think, but it's interesting to hear about the disadvantages. So thank you for those of you who've shared them. Obviously, I know that you're fans of verbling, so don't worry about that. But it is good to hear the other side of the story. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to read a little bit. There's quite a long article, and we're not going to read the whole thing. But I will share with you the link. So I'm just going to paste it into the Google chat, and I don't know, I'll paste it into the verbling chat too, you never know. And if you do want to load that up into your own window, we're not going to actually read the whole thing. So I'll share my screen with you and show you where we're going to start from. Alright, so this article, as you can see here, is called Can Online Classrooms Help the Developing World Catch Up? And I think this is kind of an interesting idea because from my experience on verbling I meet students who are from a range of different countries and obviously it's something that developing countries and developed countries can both access. There's an introduction about this guy's experience, and we're just going to scroll down. Do feel free to read this yourself later, but we're going to go down past this little thing here and go and start reading from here. Oops. Alright, so we're just going to read a little bit at a time, and then we're going to stop and discuss what we think. So, let me start with Marco. Are you there, Marco?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sorry that I missed you out. I wasn't able to hear you before.
Yes, I had some problems with my connection.
Okay, and you've sorted them out.
I lost the connection for a little while.
Okay, well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Would you like to start us off with the reading, please, Marco?
Okay, from globally?
Yes.
Okay. Globally available at extremely cheap MOOCs have managed to attract a broad range of users. Khan Academy, for example, says 30% of its visitors are non-Americans. Clarissa Sheen, Vice President of Business Development at MOOC company, Udemy, says that our focus has been on the US to date, but even without, I don't see any more.
Oh, you don't see any more. How about that?
No. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But even without much concerted force, 30% of our students are international. We have had students win coding challenges hosted by multinational companies in Africa based on the skills they have gained in our courses. In Brazil, we have had Google and other tech companies host meetup for students who are interested in learning new tech skills, to also give them insight into how to get careers in tech.
Great, thank you very much. Just stop there, thanks, Marco, and we'll just talk about this section. Just one word. This word here is pronounced effort.
Efforts.
Yeah, the emphasis on the first syllable, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, beautiful, well done. Alright, let's ask if there's any questions about vocabulary, first of all.
Yes, I've got one.
Great.
What MOOC stands for?
Haha, that's what I was going to talk about in a sec. Does anybody know?
No.
No.
Alright, does anyone know what this is referring to at all?
To an online course?
Yes, exactly. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. Massive Open Online Course. And these are courses that we've skipped the introduction of the article because it's quite long. So I'll just quickly explain it. They're basically websites that you can go on and do a course for free with lots and lots and lots of other students. Usually they take the form of video lectures, then there's exercises to do, there's quite often like a forum that you can use to talk with people, and then you usually do have to do some kind of like test or assignment or something as well. But the good thing about them is that you can access them from anywhere as long as you have the internet, and they're free generally. So has
And
anyone
you
in
can
this...
get a certification.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Simone. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
One on social media, and you get it. It's very nice. The course was for free, but if you pay, you can get a certificate.
All right. Yeah, that's right. So just for those of the students who didn't quite hear you, it seems like your connection's a little bit wobbly today. Simone was just saying that the course itself is free, but if you pay a little bit, you can access like a certificate which tells everybody, maybe future employers or someone, that you have achieved a certain level in this subject, or that you've learned this thing. So it can be really useful. Has anyone ever taken one of these courses before? No?
I've tried.
No.
Okay, can you tell us a tiny bit about it? Was that you, Matthew?
Yep, sorry, I was muted. So I've tried like Coursera and Khan Academy, I think, but I've tried some, and there were like some weird courses. They didn't have so much to choose from, you know, and they have some kind of weird, too complicated, you know. And I've opened that course and I started to listen to watch the video, and I understood that that's not interesting for me, and I closed the class, because they didn't have so much to choose from, what I'm interested. Maybe I'm interested like in economics something, but they had only like too much theory, I would say.
Okay, too much theory. Good point.
Yeah. Theory and like too profound in something, too deeply in some science, and it's not my cup of tea.
All right. It's not your cup of tea. Perfectly understandable. So yes, I think that the point about websites like Coursera is that they offer courses in very specific things because they're from universities. However, I think they're expanding a little bit, Matthew, and I think probably the range is going to improve. That's just my perspective.
Now, yes. They send like emails and they like said that we have new courses, so come to us.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's continue reading for a little bit more, and this time we're going to ask Ali. We haven't heard you for a while. We haven't heard from you for a while. Could you read, please, from here, MOOCs?
Okay. MOOCs, though, are still best equipped to deal with the well-schooled and well-supported, a problem that's rare. It's had from the concept's beginning. Stanford professor, former Google X-Hat, and Udacity founder Sebastian Thrun helped launch the MOOC movement in 2011 when he drew 160,000 students to an online version of his Stanford Introductory Artificial Intelligence course. In 2013, Udacity and San Jose State University, supported by a Gates Foundation grant, attempt to expand the program, offering $150 on online-only accredited courses for disadvantaged students. But in its first semester, participants performed far worse than their offline counterparts, and the pilot program was put on hold after 6 months. A scaled-down version was eventually relaunched to some skepticism. These were students from difficult neighborhoods without good access to computers and with all kinds of challenges in their lives. Thrun told Fast Company later that year, "It's a group for which this medium is not a good fit." And unfortunately, that's exactly the group that most needs education overseas.
Thank you very much. Wonderful reading, Ali. Okay, let's just talk about vocab in this paragraph, guys. Any vocab problems? No?
Okay, I don't get a clear meaning of the sentence. Does rear its head from the concept's beginning?
Okay, where is it? Here we go. That's reared its head from the concept's beginning. All right, have you ever heard the phrase to rear its ugly head? It's an idiom, I guess. No? Has anyone ever heard this, or can anyone tell me what that means?
I think it's British one. Yes? Am I right?
To be honest, I know it, and I'm British, so possibly. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know where this article was written. It is from TheVerge.com. I don't know if that's UK or USA. I thought it was from the US, but anyway. Nobody knows?
No.
No? Basically, it means just that a problem, if something rears its head, it means it lifts its head. So you're thinking of like a monster of some kind, lifting up its head, which basically means some kind of problem, which is like the monster, like a metaphor, has appeared or come up, okay? So it's just a more atmospheric kind of way of saying a problem has come up. So this problem has been around since the beginning of the concept. Any other questions? No? Okay, Emilio, I'm going to ask you, what was the main point this paragraph was making, do you think?
Okay, in this paragraph, we see that the biggest challenge for MOOC's companies is difficult to match, which is to reach potential students in far places around the world, like in the middle of Africa or in some parts of Asia, as there are no technical devices to let them connect with this kind of learning systems.
Okay, yes, that's one part of it. What would anyone like to add to that?
Okay, yes. I'm getting an impression that this paragraph is telling us that for us, it's like very easy to use a computer and the internet, and we are well aware how to do it. But for some people, it's not so easy, and they just don't have a background in that field to use a computer in order to study. And this is a problem.
Okay, yep.
Which should be dealt with, actually.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Emilio. That's absolutely true. There's also one even more sort of, maybe an even bigger problem with this. Did anyone pick that up? Apart from the fact that there aren't maybe a widespread use of devices and the fact that there's maybe not enough technological knowledge, what's the other problem?
I think the other problem is also in the way how they assess the success of such programs.
Okay.
Because as it said, they created online courses which were equal to like college credits, and students who took them did worse than offline students.
Mm-hmm.
But it also says that usually students from like poor neighborhoods and difficult families took online courses, so their average success level is lower than for other students who go to real colleges.
Thank you, Elena. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So all three of those points I think are really important. I'm just going to scroll down so that we can see this quote in green. And Simone, could you read that for us, please? Is she there?
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
One survey found that nearly 8% of Coursera students from developing countries already had a college degree.
Thank you, Simone. Okay, so this is expanding on what Elena was just saying, and also what Matthew was saying before about the courses offered by Coursera being really, really hard, basically. So it may be that they are.
I like to point out that not only hard, but not interesting. You know, when you're studying, so I found that not like not interesting to study. You know, I've tried to get into that, but you know, when a man is talking like nonsense, like an hour, and you should listen to him like an hour again, that's not interesting. After that, you should take some exams based on that what he said, but that's not interesting. You know.
Okay, good point. So that's similar to what I think it may have been. I'm not sure who was saying this. Maybe Diana about. Not being able to meet the students and talk about things. It's like you're very isolated, and maybe the format of the course is a bit boring in the way that you have to listen, do exercises, and you're kind of all by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I think this is a really good point, because obviously I think the world of online education has a lot of potential, but there are some big problems with it at the moment. So it's not going to be able to help people who can't read or write properly, who have no access to computers, who maybe need support with their study, like a real classroom. But let's just have a talk about it for a bit. What do you guys think about this? How could we improve this, or how do you see this improving in the future? Use your own perspectives as well as what you can imagine maybe people who are less advantaged than us experience. And I'm going to ask Diana, what do you think?
Well, I don't know how to fix this thing. Because my impression with Coursera is that the students are people who already have another diploma, but also they want to improve in a topic area, for example, in strategy.
Yeah.
I remember that I took a lesson of that, and it was just because I wanted to have a deep information about that information of that topic. But in this case of the article, is like people who cannot read will be able to take these courses. The only solution that I think it will be possible is just to teach people how to read through internet. But I don't know if it's possible. Because people who cannot read in their own language, obviously will be more difficult to understand in another language like English, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there you've just brought up another very important point, that at least the majority, I think, at the moment of these courses are in English. So if you go to Coursera, there are courses in other languages, but not as many, so you don't have as much choice. Thank you, Diana. Very interesting.
But in English, it's very good that they're in English, because I learn English the same way. What I mean that it's not difficult when you listen. It's not difficult if they don't have any accent, like Indian accent or some kind of accents. It's very, because there was like a teacher, he spoke with Indian accent. That was difficult for me to understand. But when a teacher is like native, it's okay.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to scroll down a little bit further, and we're going to find the next part, so just bear with me. This whole article I find very interesting. It's not that one. Here we go. We're just going to read another little point that they bring up. So, who would like to read? Any volunteers?
I can read.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, the counter-argument, yes?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. The counter-argument raised in Gates' letter is that glossing over inequality could end up exacerbating the very social problems education is supposed to solve, calcifying gaps between rich and poor, rural and urban, or male and female students. edX, for example, says about 60% of its students in developing countries are male, and the University of Pennsylvania study found roughly the same split in Coursera classes. The emerging BRICS countries of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa had an even starker disparity of around 68% men to 31% women.
Thank you, Paul.
Interesting.
Yes, I think that is interesting. Any questions, firstly?
Okay, what exacerbating mean? What does exacerbating mean?
Good question. Does anyone know?
It's this to big up.
Sorry?
To increase. To big up or to increase the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Emilio. Make it worse, basically. Okay. Okay, so you can substitute that in there. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I like the expression calcifying gaps between rich and poor. I mean that it's making it solid.
Yes, exactly. Yes. It is a nice one. You're right there, Emilio. All right, Emilio, go ahead. What do you think about this? What's it really saying?
Okay, for me it's very strange because at least in Spain in the universities there are more women than men studying. But here in Coursera, we see that is the opposite. In fact, there are more men, 60% against 30%. And I don't understand the reason unless we are talking about less developed areas in the world.
Yep.
Where I understand that unfortunately the women are having less, how to say, less importance in the business field or in the political area. And that's the reason why there are much more men than women.
Yes, that's correct, Emilio. So I think what they're saying is, in actual fact, it was the United States as well, which is obviously not a developing country. But for some reason, there are more male students in online courses than female. And actually, just judging by my very vague sort of overview and experience of Verbling, I do tend to have more male students than female students as well when it comes to my classes, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to ask Elena, a female student, what's your opinion about this?
Well, actually, talking about statistics, as far as I know, for example, in Russia, there are more female students than male students. Like in real universities, I don't know about online courses.
So that's similar to Spain.
Yes. Somehow Russian women would like to be more educated than men. Often. At least now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and about online courses, I don't know, maybe it's a matter of time, or probably in many families, women are still considered to be like housewives and mothers, and they don't pay so much attention to their education and career development.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely true. I just want to go back to this sentence here, really, and possibly this extra little bit which Emilio liked. Who would like to just read that sentence and see if they can interpret it for me? What's the point of that sentence?
The point, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Marco.
The point is that poor people cannot access to technologies, and so they cannot they cannot improve their education, and their destiny is to be poorer and poorer.
Okay.
On the other hand, the rich people can have access to the better technologies, can study, can improve their careers, and at the end become richer and richer.
Yep, absolutely.
That's
Thank
the point of this paragraph.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Marco. So really, what it's sort of like worrying that although this seems like a great answer to education problems, it may actually make it worse because of some other problems that we have not yet solved as human beings yet. Let's just look at the whole idea of online education, and obviously it's not perfect. There are problems. I feel positive that hopefully we will overcome those problems. But let's just think about the future. We've got like a couple more minutes of class. Just think about like in 10 or 15 years, how do you see this idea of online education affecting you, your country, your society in particular? Because we all come from different places. Would anyone like to answer? Just a speculation.
Okay, I've got an idea. Maybe as nowadays many things are moved to cyberspace, not only classes but business as well. And in 10 or 20 years, everyone would sit at home all day in front of the computer and do whatever they like on the internet, studying, doing business, chatting, don't know, watching movies, all sorts of things, and don't going anywhere. So it's kind of a bad sign. but I think all of you understand me because we're doing just this thing, sitting at home in front of the computer. So we should find a balance between doing just that and going out and doing other things and interacting with people face to face and not on the cyberspace. Okay, so but then the tendency is possible. So we'll see.
All right. Yes, we will actually, Paul. Eventually. Thank you for that. Okay, so yeah, I have to admit that it does seem like we're headed in that direction. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's a bit strange to think about it. Do you think there are any areas that really won't move it over to the internet or cyberspace, that really need to be human to human? Does anyone want to comment on that?
Yes, I would like to say that. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Diana.
Okay. Here, for example, in Colombia, I think the society is still very unequal because we are divided between rich people and poor people, and the reason is because if you want to go to the university or to have a good education, you need to go to a private university, which is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So the population is divided, I think, because of the education. So if we improve this kind of lessons or education through internet, and many people is able to have access, at the end we will have a society more educated, and definitely that impacts in the progress of the country.
All right, that's awesome. That's kind of inspiring, Diana, because that's a very positive kind of outcome, I guess, of online learning. Or could be, hopefully. All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating. I think it's a discussion that's going to be ongoing and changing a lot in the next few years. Even just from when Verbling first started, I think it's had a lot of impact and it's changed quite a bit. So I'm going to post the article onto my Facebook page, and if you would like to go and make a comment under that or read the rest of it when you have time, then do feel free. But otherwise, we're going to finish off now. So thanks all of you for participating and sharing your opinions with me today. I hope you have a really wonderful evening, and I also hope to see you again soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Thanks.
Your schedule. Yeah. And you can join any class whenever you are. It doesn't problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There are lots of advantages.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, what I asked you, Ali, was not how do you find it, but how did you find out about it? So how did you discover Verbling when you first found it? How did you find out what it was and where it was? Did you do an internet search, or did you have a friend who used it, or?
I don't know. I was just searching on internet, online speaking in English or learning in English.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And then I came across to Verbling. I just tried and I continue.
Hey presto, it worked really well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ali. Well, good to see you and welcome to the class.
Thank you. Good to see you as well.
Thank you. Diana, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Diana?
Pretty good.
Great. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Pardon, can you repeat?
Have I met you before?
No, this is my first time.
Okay, excellent. Hello, everybody. I think we're live, so let me make my introductions. Welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy, and today we're going to be discussing a topic which is relevant to everybody if you're on Verbling, because the topic is online classrooms. So we've got an interesting article to read, but we're also going to talk about what we think about online classrooms, how they've helped us, what may be the disadvantages, what we think of them basically, and what we think they may be capable of in the future. How do we see things progressing from here? So if you've booked a slot in the class, do come along in now. If you would like to join us, and the class is full, I think, so you're very welcome to watch along on YouTube or Google+, and join in as we kind of have this discussion this morning. So as the students are getting here, let me just remind you that there are a couple of pages that you might be able to check out in a few minutes that you have spare today, and they could be useful to you. So the first one is my Verbling Teacher Facebook page. And if you're into Facebook or you go regularly onto Facebook, it might be worthwhile just liking a few of the Verbling teachers, so you can keep an eye on what's happening. The other place to go, if you want to find out more information about any of the teachers or about how Verbling works really, the best place to go is to a Verbling teacher page where you can watch videos from that teacher. You can check out their schedule for both classes and private tutoring sessions. You can book a slot with them, you can book a position in a class with them, and you can also write to us. So if you have any questions about anything that's not really answered for you and you can't seem to find the answer to it anywhere, or you have a question to ask a particular teacher, then just use the messaging feature that you'll find on the Verbling teacher pages. So with that behind us, let's see who we've got this morning, and it could be evening for you guys, to talk about this interesting topic today. So I'm going to start with Elena. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, have I met you before, Elena?
I don't think so. No, it's my first time here.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Nice to meet you too. I'm from Russia.
You're from Russia. All right. Which part of Russia?
St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg. Well, that's a part of Russia that I know. I haven't actually been there, but at least I recognize the name. So, Elena, tell me something about yourself.
Well, I'm from Russia. I like dancing.
Okay, you like dancing. Awesome. And what kind of dancing?
I dance a dance that is called West Coast Swing. It's American dance.
Yep. Do you go to classes?
Yeah, I go to classes. I travel around the world to learn more of it.
Wow. So you're quite keen on it.
Well, I try to do my best.
All right, awesome. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Elena. Welcome, Elena the dancer.
Thank you.
Our topic today, guys, is online classrooms. And if you do want to have a quick look at the article before we get started, or have a think about some of the issues that we might be discussing today, have a think about that while I'm saying hi to the other students. Ali, how are you today?
Hi, Amy. I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Did you have a good weekend working?
Yeah, on Saturday I worked, and on Sunday a kind of relaxed day for me.
All right, you had a relaxing day on Sunday. That's good news.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you back. Ali, what do you think about this topic of online classrooms? How long have you been a student with Verbling?
I have been studying in Verbling. I think if it's 15 months about.
All right, so quite a long time. How did you find it? How did you find out about Verbling?
It's good and very useful. You can join whenever you want. You don't have time limit. You can arrange the classroom with your work or...
And with you.
Wonderful. Well, in that case, you can tell me a little bit about yourself as well. Are you a dancer?
No. No, but
Okay.
I can dance. not as Shakira, obviously, but I think I'm a good dancer.
Okay.
Whereas at the moment I am a student of MBA program here in Colombia. I'm from Colombia, obviously. Well, no more than that.
All right, wonderful. And what are your plans after you finish your MBA?
Well, I would like to find a job, but also I would like to create my own company. So I will decide soon what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on having your own company, or in the future you will. And welcome to the class.
Thank you.
All right, next is Emilio. Hello, Emilio.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. How is everything going?
Pretty good. I'm fine, thank you.
Did you have a good weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
No, it was a calm weekend. I was doing some shopping with my wife, and Saturday in the morning I went with one of my daughters to a volleyball match where she participated.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, she lost the game.